Hey guys, today I'm going to show you my settings that I use for Squad after today's update, February 2016. And before we jump in here, I just want to explain real fast to you guys why I'm doing such a simple video such as this. Because I'm not changing any settings outside of Squad. I'm doing everything within the game's settings. So it's like, well, why are you doing that? It's so simple. Anybody can do that and figure it out. Well, the thing is, some people don't want to figure it out. They just want to jump right in and play. And so they'll look it up on YouTube, what's the best optimized settings for their rig, and that will give them a good steady frame rate. So they don't have to mess with tweaking everything, and they can just look at my video and see what I do to get the frame rate I get, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to do what this guy does. Anyways, as simple as that. That's why I do this. Okay, so let's get right to my settings that I'm using. So I have anti-A-listing completely off, just like last time. It sacrifices too much performance for me. And then I have the view distance to medium. I have shadows to low with medium quality though, because you gotta have it on medium quality or else it will look really blocky and ugly, and you don't want your shadows looking that bad. And ambient occlusion, I went ahead and turned that off because right now it just sacrifices too much performance for me. Post-processing is medium. Once you go to high, it really hits you. It hits your PC pretty hard. The new features, auto exposure and bloom, I got on. And they didn't really seem to affect too much. Eye adaptation quality didn't seem to affect anything. Motion blur, I just don't like it, so it's preference. But I turned it on and off, and it worked fine both ways. And then the textures I have set to my card, which has 2 gigs of VRAM. And then the effects I have set to medium, because for some reason when I have it on high, when stuff starts blowing up, it seems to freeze for like half a second, and I just can't stand that, honestly. So let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of frames we get, running around in the firing range. Now, we won't spend much time here, but it just shows that it's obviously these settings I have set are not, causing the PC any trouble whatsoever. In fact, I could just bump everything up. Well, don't let that fool you. That's not the case, actually. The thing is once you get in servers, for some reason the frame rate just drops way below half of what you're seeing here. I'm talking like all the way down to like the 40s. And I found that's due to the player count on servers. So basically, the more players that are on a server, the more frame rate you're going to lose. And I think that's because, if I understand the developers, I think they posted this a while back, something about that our computers are being forced to render all the animations of everybody around the map. So like even if they're nowhere near you, you're still getting boggled down. Your PC's being boggled down by all of their animations, all their explosions, everything that you can't even see. It could be all the way on the other side of the map, and it's still going to make your computer struggle because for some reason it's like rendering all this stuff. Now I'm not sure how much of that's completely correct, but I do believe I read that, and I know it's due to animations. That much I know, but I'm sure they'll fix it sometime. But right now we got to just do what we can to get the best frame rate possible, and that's why I made this video, was just to show you what I have done to get a more stable frame rate. Okay, so here we are in a populated server. I believe there's 64 people on this server, and we won't spend too much time. I'm just gonna fly right through this, but looks to me like this has to do with the animation, because 55 FPS on Samari, which is the smallest map in the game, this seems something seems off, and it may be something happened during the new update. I don't know, because as you saw in the last video, if you even saw the last video, but I was getting around 75 frames on this server. Not this server, this map last time. Now, mind you, I think there was only 50 people when I was playing that one, or 45. Anyways, it was a smaller amount of people playing. So it could very well be due to the extra 15, 20 people that are on this one, and that's the animation bug that they were talking about. So that could be what it is. But regardless, I'm getting 55 frames, and it's working. That's just fine by me, If I had this set up to high or epic, I'd be getting 30 or 28 frames right now. So this is great. Totally fine by me. Now, interesting thing real quick. See what just happened there when I looked up in the sky? Normally when I do that on this game and any other game I've played, the frame rate will go way up because there's nothing rendering. When you look in the sky, you're just looking at nothing. And my frame rate usually flies all the way up to like 100 or so. Right there, it wasn't doing it on this server, and I think on the other server I tested out. It seems like I'm locked at 60 frames, and I don't have desync on. See right there? I don't know what's happening, so it's probably just a bug. But I want to point that out though. So I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe this server, I don't know if that's how it works, but maybe the server's like locked at a certain frame rate. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of frames we get on a different map. Bigger map actually. So this is OP First Light, which I'm not actually sure what map this is. But anyways, as you can see, I'm getting a way better boost in frame rate, and I'm not sure why. So like I said, it's just all over the place. Real quick, you'll notice something though. I just found out, and this might just be for me, but with this new update, as I rip out the map, every time I take out the map, my frames drop. They drop like 10 to 15 frames. So I don't know what's up with that, but just something to know is that it looks like the map's bugging. So anyways, so this is basically what I'm getting now with my optimized settings, and I'm at 70 plus frames most of the time on a populated server, bigger map. I'm not sure how many people are playing. Maybe this server, I think the server actually has like 55 players. Anyways, this works great for me, around 60, 70 frames, so I'm not complaining. But anyways, that's it for the portion of this video that has to do with like optimizing your PC. It's not really different from what I showed last time, but I just wanted to show with the extra settings they gave, what I'm doing now with those settings. So anyways, now I'm going to move on to a portion where I'm just going to kind of call it a little showcase of the new updates that they added. Not everything, because there was plenty of different things they changed, but mainly the stuff that excited me, like the locations and some of the new settings, and the physics for the smoke was really cool. I'll show you that. Here's a couple small things, like the lens flare. Whenever you look through a optic and there's some light, you get like a neat little lens flare. So I think that's pretty cool. They also have a new grenade model for the Russians, I believe. So it's pretty cool looking. And I think they upgraded the effects on the explosions. Ouch. So that's pretty neat. Let's check out the smoke. So with the new smoke physics, what it's supposedly supposed to do is the smoke is supposed to bounce off, walls and stuff and not go through them. And for the most part, it does a pretty good job at this. As you can see, it's really cool. Look at it, just piling up against there. But unfortunately, it's not completely working the way it's supposed to. It's coming through the wall a bit. Not as much as before, but it still is a bit. And you know what? It's really not that big a deal. And I don't really think anybody cares too much if it goes through the wall a bit. So it's really cool what they did, though. I love how it bounces like off the. It doesn't really go through stuff. It's really cool that they decided to add physics to smoke. I mean, just in general, that's pretty sweet. Normally I wouldn't even, if I was making the game, I wouldn't even have thought about that. I'd be like, just smoke, just let it do what it does. Go through walls, whatever. And people don't really pick that hard at it. But no, they wanted to make it pretty darn realistic, and I really think that was cool. They also changed the map, the way it zooms in, which I really like. So now it zooms in really far, right on top of you. So that's a small thing to note, but just wanted to point that out because it is there. Oh, and back to the smoke for a second. I forgot about this. The Americans have a new smoke grenade that is pretty sweet. So basically, the smoke from this grenade will only shoot out to the right. It will always be to the right. So make sure you strategize where you're going to throw it before you throw it. So like right here, if I want to block off this gap between the building and those Hescos, I'm going to throw it to the left a bit so it will cover up the middle right there. Just like so. So that's pretty cool. They also added something that I think is extremely immersive. I love it. It's something so small but so cool. When you shoot, notice what happens to the surface. Look at all that dust. It's flying all over the place due to the air flying out of the muzzle or whatever. I think that's so cool because that's what really happens when you shoot a gun by like a surface like this. The dust will just be like shooting all over the place. So that's really awesome. So last thing, I want to show you guys the locations that they added to one of my favorite maps, Fool's Road. It's this train station's one of them, and it's really big. I love it. I think it's gonna be a really awesome place to hold out and defend or attack or whatever, and have some really good firefights. So yeah, I really think they really went all out on this train station. Like, it's just so big. And right here is a location that has been in the game, but they added so much to it. They added 2 buildings, 2-story buildings, 3-story technically, but you can't get up on the roof. The ladder does not work. And there's no way to get into there's a little peak part of the building that you look like you should be able to get up into, but you can't. That's okay. But there's a cool secret I found, not secret, but a cool thing I found out about this building. I thought it was just 2 buildings, just 2-story buildings. There's actually a basement that, like, right here, that, like, leads to all these tunnels, and it actually takes you over to the building that's across from this one. So that was pretty cool, and I hope that, you know, they have some insurgency on the insurgency game mode. It would be so nice to have, like, the cache hidden down in there, and you have to fight your way down into the basement. That would be so fun. So overall, it's a huge upgrade to Hilltop that had literally nothing before other than a couple pieces of ruins laying around. Now it just looks really nice, and I love that it has the buildings here. Outside, there's not really much other than, like, a little swimming pool that's now used as a trash can or something like that, apparently. So, but that's about it. But the buildings are the stars of the show here. Those are cool. I really like that. So let's move on to the final location, and this location looks really fun. Like, to have a firefight in, like, especially being the defending team. It would be such a blast to hold out this place. I think it's called Fortress, and it looks, like I said, it looks really cool. It's like a lot of trenches, a lot of trenches. So it's gonna be like actual, like, trench warfare in Squad, kind of. I love that. And the bunkers are really cool too. Like, you go through these tunnels right here. They're like underground, and you go through them, and that's how you get up into the bunkers. And I'll tell you what, by the way, this place is a maze. I got lost when I was in here. I didn't really know where I was going, but you have to actually go through this maze, basically, to get up into the 3 or 4 bunkers that there are throughout it. And then you can, you know, look out and fire upon the enemy when they come at you. But you can't get out from the bunker, from the, you know, like the windows. You actually have to go back down underground again, find your way through the maze, and then get out that way. And as you can see here, I couldn't find it, and I sped it up, but it took me a lot longer than what it looks like to get out of there. But anyways, guys, that's it. Those are the things that I liked about the update, and I know there was a lot more that they updated. I know they did different things with the weapons, the classes, and all that good stuff, but these are the things I was excited for. It was the locations on this map and the extra effects that they added. Really cool. So anyways, I hope this video helped on the optimizing side, and I hope you also enjoyed the little showcase I showed off of the new features, and I look forward to the next update because this game is amazing, and it's only going to get better with every update that is released. So anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.